You're tuned into the stellar award-winning internet radio station.
You're at the right place at the right time.
Yes, Lord Radio.
Hold up. Wait just a minute. It's Roz on your radio. Yo.
Keep it locked right here.
Showcase, fellowship, inspire. Showcase.
Hey, it's Roz on the radio.
Showcase, fellowship, inspire.
Yes, Lord Radio.
Now it's time for another Yes, Lord Radio exclusive.
Hey, everybody, it's Roz on the radio, and you're listening to another YLR exclusive. My guest today is gospel recording artist Bishop Hezekiah Walker, who's here with us to share his new single and more. But first, thanks so much for joining us today.
I'm glad to be with you.
We're excited to have you now. It's been 5 years since we've heard from you musically, so I want to kind of start there. I want to say that your music has a residual power, like they say with residual income. It just keeps coming in. Your music, it continues to just pour into us. So I don't care if it's 5 or 10 years later, it still has the same effect on us. But tell us about where you've been and what you've been doing for the past 5 years.
Wow. Well, first, let me just say I really appreciate that. And it has been close to 5 years. It's been a little over 4 years that since Sold Out came out. But to be totally honest with you, Sold Out was such a big record for us, and it had me going. I've been traveling, and I just haven't had no time to really sit down and concentrate on putting a new CD out. And then before I realized it, I was like, oh my God, I haven't recorded in a couple of years, so let me, kind of concentrate on it and get off the road. But Sold Out did me real good, and I give all praises to God and also to people like you and people, those that really buy the CD, because without you guys, I wouldn't have been on the road like that. So many people around the country supported that Sold Out CD, and all of my music down through the years, you supported to the place where I was in really high demand, and so I've been running for the last 4 years off of that Sold Out CD. So I kind of sat down and said, okay, now it's time to really put something new out. And I'm kind of glad that happened, because I was able to kind of keep my ear to the street, keep my ear to hear what people, wanted to hear and what they needed to hear. And I don't really like to put records out just to put them out to satisfy my contract. I like to put CDs out, that's going to really bless people and help people in their season and help people to move to the next level. And so I decided to sit down and, concentrate on this new record, and I'm here to say that it'll be out June the 11th, so look out for it. I want everybody to look out for it. I'm really excited about the June 11th release date, but we put the single out, Every Praise, and we got that song because of my 4 years of traveling, since Sold Out. I've been to London, I've been to Japan, I've been to China, I've been to Germany, been everywhere, singing Sold Out, especially in that Japan area, Tokyo and Osaka. They love Sold Out and I Need to Survive and all those songs. And, as I go around and watch different people praise God, I realize that every praise is different. And, I grew up in a church that taught you basically if you didn't do it the way we did it, then you were wrong. But it helped me to realize that every praise, although we may praise differently, but all these different praises is going to one God.
Yeah.
And that's how we came up with Every Praise Belong to Our God. And even individually, like I was at an award ceremony a few days ago, and they were calling me to give me my award, but they kept making all these accolades, saying all these good things about me, which I felt really good about. But as I was standing there, God told me, He said that give all that praise to me. And when I got to the mic, I thanked everybody for what they said. I thanked them for all of the accolades that they gave me. But I told them that all this praise go to God, because it is He that has made me and not me myself.
Yes, I like that. Now, I love that. The single, Every Praise, I want to say that it is perfect for choirs, and everybody has a right to be creative in their own sound, but There are choirs and choir directors who are flipping through hymnals at this point, trying to find a good song. And so you're one of the artists who continue to pump out that kind of music that puts the choir robes back on, so to speak, or puts them back in the game. Right. You know what I'm saying? So
that's right.
Yeah. So it would seem important to me that you do these songs and choirs really relate to this.
And, I purposely do that because, the industry at one point was trying to say that choirs are not relevant anymore and we don't need that sound. But I was totally against that. And, because as long as there's churches, there's always going to be choir.
Yeah.
And even with my unsafe family members, whenever I invite them to church, the first thing they ask me is the choir going to sing. People want the choir. People want to hear the choir. But I just think that the choir just have to learn how to stay relevant, and the choir have to learn how to do what we do, keep our sound, but just stay relevant. And so, this song was twofold. It was to help the industry to know that, look, we ain't going nowhere. The choirs are not going down. The choir is going up.
Right.
And then the second thing that this was to do was to encourage the choir to keep on doing what they do because we are relevant and we can remain relevant. So every praise was like a choir song, but the praise and worship team can sing it, the choir can sing it, the congregation can sing it, everybody can sing it,
Exactly. We're not leaving anybody out, and I like that. You said the choir ain't going nowhere.
We ain't going nowhere. I like what you said. I like this. I'm going to use it, but I promise I'll give you credit. So now the choir, we can put back on our robes and get back in the choir stand.
The choir robes back in the game.
That's right.
Now let's talk about the project. It's called Azusa, the Next Generation, but you guys also had a conference called Azusa Next Generation. So I understand that you didn't coin Azusa, but tell us a little bit about the significance of that Azusa, the Next Generation.
Well, of course, back in 1906, there was this big revival that broke out in California, and it started this big movement, and it was more than just the Pentecostal denomination. It was to everybody. And I did a lot of research and history on it, and everybody that you can think of that has any kind of strong biblical church background really can find roots back to that revival back in 1906. Well, a few years ago, Bishop Carlton Pearson, he started this Azusa conference that I was so mesmerized about years ago when I had basically started out in my music career. And back in the day, Bishop Carlton Pearson's conference, that Azusa conference was the main platform for singers and preachers. Most singers, you wasn't saying nothing until you went to that Azusa conference. Now, everybody's trying to get on TVN and all the other places, but back in the day, you went to Carlton Pearson's Azusa, and even preachers, Bishop Jakes, really got his stardom and his fame really started at that Azusa conference, and he, made reference to Bishop Carlton Pearson about that all the time. And I was, unfortunately, I never got a chance to go to that Azusa conference, but I was one of the ones who would buy the DVD, not the DVD. Well, back then it was the VCR tapes, but I was one of the ones who bought the VCR tapes, and I listened to. He used to put CDs out every year, and so many different artists would participate, and so of course Carlton Pearson went on to do other things, and so I decided, and he stopped the Azusa. So I prayed about it, and the Lord told me to pick the Azusa conference back up. So before I did it, I went and I spoke to Bishop Carlton Pearson and got his blessings to do it. And so last year was our first year doing it, and it was just tremendous. And we decided to record. And so what you're getting ready to hear June 11th is what we did last year, and it was phenomenal. And it gave me a chance to even collaborate. I always wanted to do an album with a lot of collaborations, just to show the world that we are unified in the gospel industry. So this year, we got John P. Key, we got singing on it, we got Deidre Catton singing on it, we got Donnie McClurky singing on it, and
awesome.
and Brian Courtney Wilson. So it's just awesome. Again, our choir, and it's just so every praise is just the tip of it. But when you hear CD of it.
Wow.
CD, you're going to love it. Yeah, just the tip of it.
So this is what our listeners can expect. Tell us about some of the other songs on there that we get a chance to hear when this is released.
Well, one of the songs that you're going to hear, Tasha Cobbs is doing very good on the charts, and she's singing Break Every Chain, Power in the Name of Jesus, and that song is doing really good. And so I am a fan of that song. I first heard that song with Jesus Culture, and I was like, wow, that's a great song. But of course, you know, I'm a choir man.
Right.
And I said, I got to turn this song into a choir song. So
I love it.
I turned Break Every Chain into a choir song. So it's called the Hez Remix, Break Every Chain, but it's for choirs. And we had DJ Hatton come on, and DJ Hatton is doing a wonderful job. When you hear it, it's going to blow you away because you got Diedrich, and you know, Diedrich is really a choir man himself. A lot of people don't know, but Diedrich is a choir man. So I said, let me get Diedrich to come, and Diedrich came, and we did some collaboration with him with that song, and the choir is singing it, and it's just massive. Another song called Grace, which is like one of my favorite songs on that album. We got Brian Courtney Wilson singing this song called Grace. I got that song. There was a young lady in our choir who got burnt out, and everything was taken away from her. Clothing, her home. She wound up in a shelter for a couple of months. And when I went to see her, you know, we were feeling sorry for her and everything. And when I went to see her, she said to me, Pastor, you know what? I lost everything, but guess what I didn't lose? I didn't lose my life. And she said that it was the grace of God that everything is gone, but God, the grace of God wrapped around my life. I can always get another apartment. I can always get, you know, clothes. I can always get furniture, but I only got one life to live. And she said, thank God for the grace of God. And that's how we came up with the song called Grace. So, I mean, and then me and John P. Key, we're doing the regular quiet thing. And we got this great song called Work in Your Favor. It's called Work in Your Favor. Me and John Key putting it out there to tell everybody that it's going to work in your favor. So it's going to be good. I think you're going to really enjoy it. It
is. It is. Sounds like it's going to be something for everybody, and especially my good old church choir people. You guys, y'all, my goodness, June 11th. That's all we got to say about that. Now, your bishop, Hezekiah Walker.
Yeah.
You work with several churches, and you got songs, that a new project you're putting out. How do you manage all of this?
You know, everyone asks me that question. It's nothing but the grace of God. I really don't believe we'll put more on you than you can bear. And if you got it, that means you can handle it. Bishop Jakes, I went to a conference, and Bishop Jakes was telling us, he said, you have to maximize every gift at the same time. He said that the problem with many of us is that we've been trained to take one gift at a time.
Yeah.
And what happens is, when we take one gift at a time, by the time we get to the gift that we love the most, we are too old to work it. So he said that you have to maximize every gift at the same time, and God will give you grace, and God will show you how to really take your time and really maximize everything at the same time. And I went away with that wisdom, and I began to do it all. And the Lord has, you know, of course, it's time management. That's very important.
Yeah.
But the Lord showed me how I can do what I do. I can do family. I can do, you know, I have a daughter. I can do family. I can do church. I can do CDs. I can do radio because I'm also on the radio. I can do all of that. Then I can also have me time and still do what I do. And so God has shown me how to do it, and I've been doing it, and it's been working, and I'm good.
That's beautiful.
And yeah, I'm doing it, and it's good. And, you know, even with the new title, you know, with Bishop, you know, my bishop went on to be the Lord, and as he made his transition, you know, I stepped in the place of the bishop and began to take the actual organization to the next level. And speaking of that, you know, we have a song that I dedicated to my bishop. My bishop is, everybody around the world is doing the war cry. That came from my bishop. And so what we did, that came from my bishop. And what we did was we dedicated a song called I Feel Your Spirit. And we put the war cry in that particular song. That's another choir song that I think that everybody's going to gravitate to. So it's been a great journey. It's been a great journey.
Yes. Well, I love the fact that you're having this discussion with us now, because a lot of people struggle with all of the hopes and dreams and their aspirations and trying to do things, trying to do one thing really well. But at the same time, you hear people in your ear saying, you sit down, you're doing too much.
Yeah.
And I just think it's wonderful for you to be able to share with us, that you can be great in so many areas, so many avenues of your life at the same time.
At the same time. And you got, and again, God, I just don't believe, that God will not put more on you than you could bear.
Yeah.
If you got all those gifts inside of you, why take it one gift at a time?
Yeah.
If they are to work them all at the same time, work them all, and God's going to give you grace. That's what grace is all about. Grace is all about giving you, there's a measure of grace that He gives all of us.
Yeah.
And grace allows you to do things that you would normally be able to do.
Wow. I love it.
So what you do is you figure out, first you have to do some time management.
Mm-hmm.
You figure out what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, and you just work every gift at the same time and watch God. Bishop Jakes, if we look at Bishop Jakes, he's an author, he's a movie producer, he's a songwriter, he's a musician. A lot of people don't know that Bishop Jakes played organ. Bishop Jakes is a musician. Yeah, he's a musician. He's a bishop. He's a pastor.
He's a father. He's a husband.
He's a father. He's a husband. And he's doing all of this at the same time, And I'm saying, and if God has graced him to do it, sure enough, me and you can do it. There's
exactly.
There's so much stuff inside of us. We're not just who people think we are. We are much more than what people think we are.
Yeah, and then just my revelation, not a Superman, but a super God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about, sweetheart. That's really what it's all about. And God is just, and we're not waiting on God. God is really waiting on us.
Yeah, very good, very good. We got to get out of here, but of course, before we do, we're going to take a listen to Every Praise. Guys, I want to know your comments. We want to know your thoughts about the song. I'm so excited that Hezekiah Walker is bringing us some new music. Let me know what you think by visiting us on the YLR Shop Box. You can also stay connected with me at Facebook.com and Twitter.com/Roz on the radio. And Bishop Hezekiah Walker, how can everybody stay connected to you, and tell us again about the music?
Well, of course, you can stay connected to me. I am a Twitter man for sure, so you can just tweet me at Hezekiah Walker. That's at Hezekiah Walker, and you would definitely connect with me. I stay on Twitter, so please, everyone, tweet me at Hezekiah Walker. And thank you for listening to the music. Thank you for loving the music. And I want to hear your thoughts, too. Let me know what you feel about Every Praise. Let me know what you feel about the CD when it comes out on June 11th, because I want to make sure that I'm staying relevant. I want to make sure that people are enjoying it. And to all of my choir heads out there, to all of my choir directors, y'all stay encouraged, because we're going to fight this good fight of faith. And guess what? We already won. We don't have to win, because we already won.
That's right. Well, guys, here's Bishop Hezekiah Walker from his new project, Azusa, The Next Generation, with Every Praise.
Let me hear the worshipers!